What's up guys? This is Evan with Backwoods Adventure Mods. Today we're going to walk through an installation of our 4th Gen Tacoma double cab DRIFTR series roof rack. This has the same features as our other DRIFTR series roof racks. It uses the same beefy 1x3 extrusions and 1/4-inch aluminum. This is what you see when you open the box. You'll have the extrusions themselves, the side panels, the rear fairing, the front fairing, the mounts, and the hardware. Now our front fairing, it uses one of the extrusions behind it to cut down on any wind noise or possible vibration. It has our universal hole pattern up top, which is a multi-slot for 3/8 hardware or 1/4-inch hardware, specifically carriage bolts, so that you can put a single 40-inch light bar or as many different LED pods as you want. You'll also have some edge trim for the front of it. The rear fairing has our chase light knockouts that you can cut out. You just cut the little tabs if you want to run chase lights, and the same multi-slot on the top for mounting other lights. The side panel, also 1/4-inch aluminum, is pre-slotted and drilled for the extrusion, so you can really put them wherever you want. And you can use this as a grab handle, or you can bolt up the Agency 6 grab handles in the pre-drilled holes. So you have brackets to mount a light bar, you have the brackets to mount the roof rack, the stainless steel hardware that's been coated in black oxide, and the spacer blocks. You'll also get some Loctite and some silicone. As far as tools needed, a little trim tool, pry tool. It's handy to have a knife, but not totally necessary. And a basic socket and hex key set. This is a bolt-on, no drill application. Step one is getting ready to put the mounts on. First, we're going to remove these little plastic trim pieces. They just snap off. Then you'll see this, it's like a vinyl tape. You can kind of push on it and you'll find, I don't know if you can see it, the round hole underneath. There's going to be 2 of them. You can peel the whole thing up, but it's easy enough just to cut a little slit, a little plus shape in it. There'll be a threaded hole underneath that. Basically, we're going to lay a block and a mount. As we install these, we're going to want to use your sealant to make absolutely sure you don't get any water inside the cab of your truck. So we're going to put some silicone around the holes. We're going to set the block on. I'm also going to put some around the bolt threads just to be safe. We're not going to tighten these completely down because this is going to help us get our roof rack adjusted. So I'm just going to get these kind of finger tight for now. And we're going to do the same thing on the other 3 corners. All right, we have all 4 mounts on and snug, but not totally tight. Next, we're going to grab a side rail and we're going to get it just loosely hanging on these mounts. So these 2 holes in the back that are slightly slotted and these 2 holes in the front, they're going to line up with the holes in the mounts. So you're going to use a bolt with a flat washer, and then on the inside you'll do another flat washer and a lock nut. Next, we're going to put in the 4 main top extrusions. Now I'm going to use the pre-drilled holes. So I'm just going to lay this carefully here, and we're going to use the 1-inch long bolts with a flat washer on the outside. And we're not going to totally tighten these, we're going to leave them loose as well. Now we'll prep the front fairing to go in. So we're going to put this extrusion on the back side of the front fairing, and we're going to attach it through these holes with these short little 1/2-inch long black stainless bolts and our roll-in T-nuts. You can roll them in or slide them from the end. And the only thing that you really need to make sure of right now is that you've got them pretty much in line with these holes, or close enough that you can stick a small tool or pick down through there to get them lined up exactly once we set it on top. Now I'm going to set this on top and confirm that they're mostly lined up. And I like to get all the little bolts started before doing the Loctite. They're all in but not tight, And I'm just going to feel to make sure that the extrusion is flush with the end on both ends. Then I'm going to pull these out one at a time and put some Loctite on them. Once I get them all Loctited, then I'll go and snug them all down. Last step for the front fairing is the edge trim. So I'm just going to start at one end with it flush. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to trim it on about the same angle that the edge of the fairing is. That way it'll look nice and flush when I'm done. Now we're going to take our fully prepared front fairing and install it up front. We're going to use all 3 of these threaded holes in the extrusion to mount through these slots. At this point, this is a good time to have somebody help you so you don't drop it on the cab of your truck. Now it's time to add the rear fairing. This is just going to bolt in with the same hardware that we used to mount it. We're going to put a flat washer on the outside. And on the inside, we'll run another flat washer and a lock nut. Now it's time to start tightening things down and getting the adjustment where you want it. Now you probably noticed that just due to the material, these side panels have a bit of a curve to them. As soon as we tighten them to the extrusions, that curve will straighten out. That's the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to tighten down all 4 extrusions on both sides. Then we're going to set the height using the bolts that mount the rack to the mounts. Just a quick note, I highly recommend not using an impact on these, as tempting as it is. If you do, just barely run it up on the lowest setting and finish it by hand. It's just not worth stripping out the extrusions. Now we're going to set the height. And I like a pretty tight gap, but I definitely want it to be consistent front to back. So I'm going to set the front right where it is, and then when I come to the back, I'm going to raise it up, I don't know, maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. All right, well, since Mo and J.O. decided to video bomb us, we need a hand anyway. So Mo, will you lift up on this a little bit on this side?
Absolutely.
I want this gap here to look about the same as it does up front.
You know me, Lufkin eyes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
I'm going to tighten the rear fairing down. All I'm really going for is kind of parallel and flush. Okay, now before we tighten down the sides of the front fairing, we want to set the gap. So I'm trying to make this front face parallel with this leading edge, and I want, I don't know, about 3/8 of an inch or so. That's going to depend on how you've adjusted your side, so just kind of eyeball it and make sure both sides are the same. Now the last step is to tighten down the mounts to the roof. So we've got everything right where we want it. I've already confirmed that this is centered left to right because there is just a little bit of adjustment, and that it's sitting nice and square on the roof. Now, if you are going to put a light bar on, we've included these universal light bar bracket. There's a left side and a right side, but really you can orient these in any way you want to work with your light bar. But kind of the standard setup is going to be just like that, one right and one left. But of course, if your light bar is a little bit wider or narrower, you could experiment with trying just different layouts until it fits your light bar. With all these slots and the different directions you can turn these and swap them, chances are it'll work. And it sets the light bar a little bit closer to the rack than the standard tall light bar bracket. And that wraps it up. Go back through and make sure that you've tightened down all your bolts, you like your adjustment. And if you have any questions, reach out to us at backwoodsadventuremods.com. Thanks for watching.